Over on TikTok, a man named Scott Sims often posts videos of himself working on cars, and because of his strong love of his cars, he had a security camera set up so he can always keep an eye on them. Well, late one night, he received a notification from this camera, and when he took a look at the footage, he saw this.
Where Gus is back. I'm gonna go walk through it. Here, hold this over here. Just show these fools. It's not a local crackhead. Like a big city.
What looks like a glowing figure can be seen standing in the middle of the cars. Scott couldn't believe his eyes and immediately went outside in an attempt to debunk this. And strangely enough, as his flashlight illuminated the area, this figure vanished. He then stood in the exact spot where this figure was to prove that there was absolutely nothing there. But eerily enough, as quickly walked away, the figure can once again be seen. So, was this something paranormal? I'll leave that up to you to decide. TikTok user Mary Cruz Lopez 133 posted a video in October of 2022 of something she can't explain. While at a horror attraction, she couldn't help but notice a replica Annabelle doll locked in a kind of glass case. Not wanting to pass up on the opportunity, she began recording a video with this infamous doll. But while recording, something absolutely chilling was caught on camera.
No voltea.
Ya no volteó.
Perra. Ya no volteó.
Ah, ya volteó los ojos.
Tiene miedo, no voltea.
Ya volteó los ojos. Ya volteó los ojos.
While recording, the doll's eyes darted to his right to look at Mary, although she didn't notice this in the moment. Terrifying footage sent chills down her spine when she later reviewed the video. And I am not a fan of dolls, and if I had it my way, Annabelle would have a grenade strapped to her face. Back in 2020, a TikToker named Fernando was working the night shift at a train yard, accompanied by a few coworkers. He luckily wasn't alone for what was about to be a terrifying night. Late into the night, he began to record a few videos to help pass the time, but it wasn't until later that he noticed something chilling in one of his videos. As he walked past the train, it looked as if someone was standing inside. An eerie pale figure stood and stared out the window of the train. According to Fernando, the train was empty and locked for the night, so there definitely should not have been anyone inside. But that terrifying video just taught me that now I also need to be afraid of trains at night. Great. This next video comes from the paranormal investigation channel, Night Watch Exploration, where he visits an old abandoned military bunker miles out in the middle of nowhere. Prior to filming the video, there were no reports of it being haunted, but it was creepy enough to warrant a closer look, and, as fate would have it, their suspicion was eerily accurate.
Did it even get through here? Look at this. Holy shit, bro. There's no way, whatever that, listen. It's just thunder. That's fucking thunder, but what the was that? There's no way that whatever we just saw could run
Through here, that fast.
I mean, look how thick that bush is.
Look at this.
There's no way we would have heard it. He would have been all up.
Did you catch it? No? Well, let's stabilize the video. As the camera pans around, a strange, pale figure can be seen peeking around the doorway for a split second, before it quickly ducks away out of sight. The explorers see it and rush over to it, but when they get there, the pale figure is nowhere to be seen. What really cranks up the eerie factor here is that this place is completely overgrown. There's no logical escape route for whatever that was. So did it vanish into thin air? And as mentioned earlier, this hangar is miles out in the middle of nowhere, so it begs the question, just who or what was watching them? And where did he go? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Paranormal investigators, Jeff and Phil, returned to investigate a place known as the Wheelhouse. Dating back to 1885, this building was once used for a fabric business, but later transformed into the pottery business. The current owners have experienced bizarre, unexplainable things inside for the last 30 years, and now the ghost team has returned in hopes of catching even more proof of the entities inside.
The lady that wanders here that leaves the smell of a fragrance, a perfume. What was that, Phil? I heard knocking. Did you hear knocking?
I don't know.
As soon as I mentioned the lady. As I am talking about the spirit of a lady that wanders the wheelhouse, I hear knocking come from nearby. Here is the audio enhanced. The lady that wanders here that leaves the smell of a fragrance, a perfume. What was that, Phil? I heard knocking.
Almost immediately into an EVP session, the sound of knocking was heard nearby, and not long after, Jeff heard something else that sent chills down his spine.
And this went on for a fair amount of time until after the war, when they decided that they were going to go back to what they knew best, and that was shop fitting. Now, one of the directors was a chap called George.
Hold on, Phil.
Yes?
I heard a voice. Something to do with Yankees? I heard it as clear as anything, and I was looking at you. I thought it was you, and it wasn't you. As Phil is speaking about the World War II company Parnell Limited, I clearly hear a voice that mentions the word Yankees. I then realise that it is not Phil, and on the replay of our audio, there is indeed a man's voice who is saying, "The Yankees are here."
Until after the war, when they decided that they were going to go back to what they knew best, and that was shop fitting. That was shop fitting.
This low, raspy voice did not belong to Jeff or Phil, and considering they were the only two people on the property at the time, this voice is unexplainable. The duo continued trying to make contact, when something let them know it was nearby.
Someone's walking.
I heard something then.
Just heard footsteps. From the other side of the wheelhouse, we both hear footsteps walk by. Here is the audio with enhancements. Someone's walking.
The clear sound of footsteps came from somewhere in the room. This sound is unmistakable, and both men noticed it immediately. Later on in the night, these sounds and voices amazingly continued to come through.
Whereas the occupants of the houses that went away the other direction, I heard you then.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Pottery moving again.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was it illustrates the...
A ghostly voice saying hello was captured on the digital recorder, clearly sounding like a spirit trying to communicate with the investigators. But little did they know that they were about to record their best EVP to date.
What was your role? What did you do? How did you help? What was that, Jeff?
Jesus. Hold on a sec, Phil. That come from?
What was it?
A woman's voice. A woman's voice, something to do with factory outside. That's part of what I heard. It made me jump. A disembodied voice of a lady responds to Phil. It is the clearest disembodied voice that we have captured to date. The voice is saying a factory somewhere just outside, which comes from behind me and startles me. And it is the same voice of a woman that we have received before on our previous investigation. And then Phil asked if she worked for the company that repaired the gun turrets, and the same voice responds by saying yes. Here is the enhanced audio.
What was your role? What did you do? How did you help?
Help. Help.
A female voice came through, clear as day, in response to Phil. This unnerving voice made Jeff jump as he was able to hear it with his own ears. Well, after the investigation came to a close and they later reviewed their footage, they discovered that they may have caught the being this voice belonged to.
Before the investigation commenced at the wheelhouse, we had set up a static cam to run for 6 hours, and during the production of this episode, when the camera was reviewed, we had captured a shadow figure moving from right to left. No one had access to the building as we had the keys, and every window was sealed so no light would contaminate any evidence. Here is the original footage of the figure, followed by the footage with enhancements.
A dark, transparent figure walked directly in front of the camera, was being moved across the room from right to left, and despite being faint, its dark outline can clearly be seen. These solid pieces of evidence have left the ghost team 100% certain that the wheelhouse is haunted.